That's a way to start off the podcast.
Is it?
I mean,
Yeah.
we've been sitting up here watching this for probably a total of 2 hours at this point, and this is the second time we've seen the bald eagle get up. So,
If I'm being honest, I just don't understand the infatuation with the eagle. I really don't.
Huh? It's the most majestic fucking animal on this planet.
No. I love the eagle, right? Represents America, but why are we sitting here watching it move once every 2 hours?
Because we're
Once every
waiting for
hour.
the eggs to hatch.
But that's not
It's a
going to
watch
happen.
party.
No, we're waiting for another bird, another bald eagle to
Bald
bring
eater.
up a huge ass snake or something.
yeah, that'd be pretty wild. Just mid-podcast, the other one flies up.
Big
with-
ass fox or something.
I like how we're talking about an eagle, but here we are on our 100th podcast,
Yeah.
and that was the first thing that we mentioned.
Well, if you've been here since the start, then
power to you.
congratulations to you. But if you're here, you know this is what we're about. It's kind of nonsense, filled with good take every once in a while, and then more nonsense. But yeah, this is the 100th podcast episode. So big ups to everybody in this room.
Wait.
Gotta get the applause.
Hey.
Well done to the boys.
Well done, lads.
Still going over there.
Yeah, it's done now. Yeah, definitely didn't think we'd make it here a couple months ago, and not even a year or two ago.
Even the downtime
Yeah.
that we had was a little bit rough.
But we made it. We're here. And thank y'all for all your support and everything you've done to help us grow and get better as we've gone. And 100's only the start. I mean, we'll see y'all at 200.
Speak for yourself. This has been a lot of work.
Well, so before we hit 200, we're just calling it quits. 199's the OC Fan TV finale.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
See, now we're eating sticks, doggy. This is the most action you've had.
Yeah, I'm saying the odds on the other eagle coming in, I'm putting it at plus 100,000. And the only place that you can find those odds are our sponsor. Toss it to myself. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your soccer wagering needs, including MLS and European leagues throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contest, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team, and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. That was a fantastic ad read from myself.
Oh,
All
all right.
right. I know you didn't even know where I was going to go with that yet.
All right.
I was going
No.
to say it was a better performance than what we saw on Saturday.
Yeah,
There you go.
I can get behind that. But, I mean, gassing yourself up over the ad read.
Hey,
over
it was
here.
a decent ad read. It is what it is. Hopefully, it didn't get muted this time.
I mean, it was. Let's be honest, it was mediocre at best, but
Hey,
it's not hard
I'm
to
sorry.
beat that performance that we saw on Saturday.
Okay, I was going to say I thought it's not hard to beat my performance on the ad read, but
I mean, I could do it pretty easily. So
All right. Yep. So what you tuned in for? The Orlando City overreaction. As we said, that's it. Our season's over. We're done for.
Poppy out.
Yep. The whole 9. Sack the whole team. We need new owners.
Glazer's out.
Yeah. Glazer's out. Cronky out.
Bully out.
McBoley out.
Arteta out. Frank Lampard out. Tuchel out.
Tuchel in.
Ole out.
Ten Hag all the way in.
In fact, 10-year contract, right?
15.
20. I'll keep up in it.
Sign.
Down. Anthony, resign.
I mean, that guy couldn't even save us.
No one could save us, if we're being honest.
There's one guy that could have helped a lot if another guy didn't play, but we can get into that once the time comes.
Yeah.
Yes, but let's be honest. Across the board, it was poor.
Wasn't great.
Not even singling out that one position, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, but in general, across the board, it was just a mess.
Not good enough.
So to make it simple, we just want to go through this minute by minute, goal by goal, so we can go through in order.
Yeah, I mean, we can just talk about us getting jumped from the first whistle.
Yeah, it wasn't a great look.
I mean, the first goal comes within a minute and a half, I feel like.
It was
3 minutes in.
Fourth minute, according to FootMob.
So 2 goals in 5 minutes, right? Or
No, they
7.
scored in the 11th.
7.
Fourth and 11th.
Yeah, or 11th.
Yeah, because it was 10 something.
Yeah, that's why I said 11.
Yeah, so we get jumped. We've now seen, we kind of talked about it on the live, that we start slow. And we've now seen what happens when we start slow and fall behind.
Not great things at all. The first goal, I don't know if it was nerves. Araujo Caesar was playing against, well, probably a guy that he very much looked up to in Luis Suarez. And then he ended up giving the ball right to Julian Gressel. I think, no. Was it Suarez that picked it off? Because it was Gressel that got the assist. Doesn't matter. He gave the ball away right on top of our 18. He could have taken a touch. He had time. But he tried to play quick. He got picked off. And then, like 10 seconds later, ball's in the back of our net. Nerves. Did no one tell him man on? Did no one tell him time? There's a bunch of things that could have happened, but it ended up falling on Caesar and then a couple other people towards the back end with man marking.
Yeah, well, it starts with Caesar, but it also continues with Caesar when he's tracking back towards the goal and marking absolutely nobody.
Couple people that did
Well,
that.
also, yeah, you could also pin that marking on Caesar, but I mean, Wilder's right next to him. Either one of them could mark Suarez, who's running in there. Neither decided to pick up Luis, and here we are, a goal down, 4 minutes in.
And the most frustrating part about it is you see Cartagena start to mark him, and then he just drifts in towards the middle of the box. And with a player like, he's 37, but he's still one of the best striker of our generation. You could argue you can't be doing that. You can't give him any space, and we just gift him just wide open run in the box.
Yeah, I say Caesar because I feel that he was in a better position to defend that. Being front side of the player already, you just step and, even if you're not getting full contact on that, you get a deflection, you put it out for a corner, it takes some sting off of it, Pedro's able to get there. Like, there's a lot of different things that happen there if you just step rather than run backwards.
He was trying to stay middle, which one don't understand because Schlegel was back post and Cartagena was trailing back. Janssen was going to press Julian Gressel out wide, so someone should be shifting over because Janssen, who is our left center back, is leaving his position to go fill what is Rafael Santos' position. So there's the shifting that has to happen. It didn't happen. And then, yes, if Caesar shifts across and gets in front of Suarez, then like you said, he can deflect it out for a corner, take whatever happens. And then Cartagena is the man in the middle with Schlegel back post.
Yep.
So then you have all your areas covered. But, like, again, you step up in front of Suarez, then the ball probably doesn't even get into the middle. So you're marking space that you shouldn't even be worrying about in the first place because you are cutting it off being in front of Suarez.
Well, I said it in the live and I said it before the game that Luis Suarez wasn't impressive up until this point. But I also prefaced it and said that in his past seasons, it's taken him a little while to get going, but then the goals start going. And you said it on the live. You said, he's going to go bag a brace against us. And sure enough, the 11th minute, the downfall of Rodrigo Schlegel begins.
That began a while ago, but he's continuing it on at this point.
That was easily one of the worst center back performances I've seen from a player wearing our badge in a very, very long time.
A player wearing Eddie badge.
Ironically enough, like it was hard to beat his performance against Columbus at the end of last year, and somehow he's managed to do it.
Yep. So, arguably, like Bryce said, arguably one of the best strikers of our generation. He drags, as they like to say on the broadcast, drags Rodrigo out of position, and the ball gets played to Gressel again, I believe, and then, or was it Robert Taylor? I can't remember. Anyway, ball over top.
Gressel had the assist on the second one, too.
Yep. So, ball played into Gressel over the top of Rodrigo and caught out in no man's land, and Robin's not able to close him back down. Dagger Dan's not able to get there. He's one-on-one with Pedro, and what does the greatest striker of our generation do? Find the back of the net.
It's just so obviously terrible defending from Schlegel to put Janssen in a position to even try to come across and do it again. And now noticing 2 goals in a row in the first 11 minutes where Janssen is trying to have to cover somebody else's position. Not that it was on Santos on the first one for being too high up, because that's how he plays. And at that point, it comes down to tactics. If you give it away in your defensive third, it's going to happen. So you got to deal with it. We didn't do it right. But then on this one, it's Schlegel stepping out of position unnecessarily, and it's a characteristic that we have seen him do since he has joined this club. And it's just shocking as to how it can happen continuously, and especially in that game. Maybe Brecalo wasn't 100% fit, but boy, would I have loved to see him on that pitch.
I mean, I said I would have loved to see him too, but I think you point out he may be hurt.
He's not 100%.
Kyle Smith, Thomas Williams, anyone other than Schlegel, because you know these mistakes are bound to happen. It's going to happen, especially against a team like out at Fort Lauderdale, who are composed on the ball, who can play those neat, intricate passes. He's going to get exposed. It's just a matter of time.
Before you guys got up here, I was telling Zach, I was like, Schlegel's done with me. I don't want to see him get any more minutes. I'd rather have Thomas Williams get actual minutes, actual experience, make mistakes, because he will. He's a young player. But we know what we have in Schlegel, and he does the same shit over and over again. So might as well invest in our youth that he just came up through our academy and just play with him if Brecalo's not fit all the way. Because at least you're giving him some minutes.
Then at that point, you could argue if you play Thomas Williams, he's not ready and he makes a bunch of mistakes, his confidence is shot, and then he will never be the player that he has the potential to fulfill. Yeah.
Or
so you just invest in another center back. I know you just bought Brecalo, but buy someone a little bit lower in quality.
Or you invest in Thomas Williams, say he gets a run of games, he plays well 1-2 times, his confidence through the roof, and the sky's the limit for the kid.
Then what happens if it's the opposite?
It's better than fucking Schlegel. Either way.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from with there's got to be a better option than Rodrigo there. And I see what you're saying about letting the youth play. Maybe not in a game against, the Barcelona boys, but if there comes an opportunity, it should have been one of them against like Calvary or something like that. You know what I mean? We're not going to play a worse team all year. No offense to them. All the respect to those fans that traveled, but they're in their own league for what they are. So we're not going to play a worse team all year. So we play in the East. We're going to have a ton of really tightly contested games. So getting them in and getting those minutes early to build that confidence was probably the way to go. But we rode with Schlegel. And I said it on the live, or I think in the podcast after the Calvary game, because we saw him concede the goal and then he got more frantic after that. And we hadn't really seen him. We see him make the mistakes all the time. We know it's in his game, but at least normally it's kind of like the mistake happens and Schlegel's still Schlegel, but he's not running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And sure enough, after he lets up the first goal, it just gets worse. The third goal, it's him who holds Luis Suarez online or onside.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, you said when we were just watching the highlights to refresh, you said you have to know that Janssen is the one that is holding the farthest line back. You are in line with him no matter what. You are no farther behind. I don't know if that is Schlegel just being incompetent in that position, not knowing where he is. He's looking across the line at Janssen, but he steps up too late. And there we have the run in behind, and they're in for the easiest tap-in goal that whoever will score in their career.
Robert Taylor with
fantastic. Good for that guy. So glad for him.
My thing with Schlegel is he's always stepping out of position, stabbing in, but then when you're holding that line, you're going to stand there with looks like you got fucking bricks on your feet.
Yeah.
Gets caught in two minds, I feel like. Because part of him is like, I have to stay in front of this player. But then the other half of him is like, well, I need to draw the offsides. And if he's trying to play the offside trap just outright, then he's an idiot because that's just not in his locker.
It's not. It never has been. Like, Janssen's always sweeping up everything. Play a yard or two in front of him so that you have that leeway. Janssen always does a good job of holding that back line in order. Why would you try now to do that, knowing, one, you don't have the pace to get back, two, you're always going to get caught out in some spot?
You don't exactly want to play a yard or two in front of Janssen, though, because then the defender can just sit on your backside shoulder and then be on side of the Janssen. You want to be in line with Janssen so that you're either in line with that player, can keep up with him, or he's offside if he tries to make the run too early.
A single yard isn't going to stop anyone from running past me. But Schlegel, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about the pace that we have in the MLS, that's, game-breaking speed right there. You give Angulo a yard head start on anybody, you know what I mean? Like, that guy can outpace anybody. I understand what you're saying. You want Janssen to be the deepest man. It never should be Schlegel. I think that we all agree on that. He never needs to be the man holding the line, the guy that's supposed to be composed, you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be him. So after that, we let fucking midget man get involved too. It just couldn't get worse because we let the donkey score 2. We had to let Papa Smurf run around out there and do his thing too.
Had to let everyone do their thing. Everyone in their front three had a goal involvement, and then Julian Gressel had 2 assists.
Yep.
So everyone was running out there doing their thing.
If I'm not mistaken, the 4th goal was Jordi Alba just running completely through our whole midfield.
Midfield, right.
Yep.
I want to say that was the 3rd and 4th goal because our midfield was nowhere to be found the entire game.
Yeah. But it's like Jordi Alba's 35?
Something.
He's he should never be doing that anymore.
Yeah,
and
so
it just looks so fucking easy.
34.
So, yeah, that one starts off with Jordi Alba out on the left and then kind of drifting in towards the middle, and Lauderdale starts to move towards him and then is kind of like...
Was it Lauderdale or Rocco?
I thought it was over.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Lauderdale.
Okay. We got 3 different...
Doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Of a different goal. But
They let him dribble right past him, which is just unacceptable. Continue.
So, yeah, he puts... he goes for goal on a little chip, and Janssen, respect to this man, busts his ass and gets back there and saves it off the line.
Post, crossbar, everything.
Just up and out, and been quiet all match, and then all of a sudden just finds his way in there, takes a touchdown, and scores the easiest goal he's ever scored in his entire fucking footballing career.
No, because Schlegel decided that he was just going to stick a leg out and then kind of caress his shoulder and then
whisper in his ear, sweet nothings.
have fun scoring this goal, lad.
Things
And then
like-
he scored.
He took it down off the chest. The ball's maybe rolling mile an hour for 6 yards, and we can't do anything about it because Cartagena, Pedro, or
It was
one
Araujo
way.
and Pedro that got sent.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is Brexit means Brexit. If he's going to score there, he's going to feel it.
Well, at that point, you're doing pretty much everything that you possibly can to keep the ball out of the back of the net, but he was just defeated at that point. He wasn't doing anything to try to stop it. Even if he got a foot on that ball, it's probably coming back off of Messi's shin and going into the back of the net. So, in that respect, you pull him down. You take the red, someone clears it off the line because it is rolling so slow, and then we're probably playing better football because Schlegel's not on the pitch, and then we have a chance that Pedro saves a penalty, and it's still only 3. And like I said, maybe we play better with Schlegel off the pitch at this point.
The thing is, like, I feel so bad for Robin. I mean, that man gives us everything day in, day out. Down 3-0, clearing that off the line when that's 98% of the time going in. To have your entire team fall asleep. If I'm him, I'm ripping them a new one once I get in the locker room.
Oh, it's already been halftime at that point, so you got to
Exactly.
Do it
When
at the end
at
of
the
the
full
match.
90, back in the locker room, I'm ripping them a new one after that.
I mean, and you just saw with Janssen's post-game interviews, he was fucking pissed. And he probably did have those conversations because he's our captain. He has to have those conversations. But I don't fucking know. I'm just done with Schlegel, and I can't stress it enough.
We got one more for you.
No.
The fifth and final. And this just shows how poor our defending was, because we allowed him to score a header goal.
Him being Messi.
Yes. Out of his almost 900 goals, he has scored 26
before this one.
26 headers. So that it's maybe one a year.
It was like 810 or 814 or 847. And then I think I did the math, and it was per match, it was .003 were header goals, I think. And then, yeah, we just go ahead and fall asleep at the back post and allow him to get one.
But it all stems from nobody other than the man himself, Rodrigo Schlegel, down 4-0, deciding, you know what? I don't need to pass the ball. I don't need to stay here. I don't fuck with that. You know, I'm gonna do my own thing
I'm
and
a cam now.
drive all the way up the fucking right wing of the field. You're right over there,
What's
bud.
going on?
I'm sorry. When you say I'm gonna do my own thing, I just think of the Into the Spider-Verse clip or the Across the Spider-Verse. Just put Schlegel's face on that. You know what I'm talking? I'll show you the clip after, but that was gold right there.
Well, might see this on TikTok or something like that now. But anyway, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to do my own thing and drive all the way up the right side of the field and then lose the ball.
Then play the shittiest pass
Yeah.
known to mankind.
Straight
It almost
to
looked like he was trying to no-look it.
straight to a Miami player. I can't tell you who it was. But we're up again, boys.
Oh, shit.
The eagle is moving.
Was there a little crack in the egg?
This
No, it's just grass.
Oh.
dog, those eggs were probably fucking laid today.
Yeah,
For
they're
all we
probably
know.
just trying to sleep. It was like every 30 minutes they get woken up.
You motherfucker.
It was like us during the watch along. I'm just trying to take a nap here, and then no, it's 4.
Yep. So-
you turn into that fucking announcer from
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah, so it didn't get any better. And again, they drive straight through the middle of the field. A cross out to Messi.
There was Suarez, I believe,
Yep.
It
for his
was.
second assist of the match.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And, header scored by the Papa Smurf is what we're going with.
It's a new one.
I'm just trying to be politically correct out here, you know.
Oh, fantastic.
We
It's a nice close-up of his feathers. It's really breathtaking camera work here.
I do agree with Zach though, and like the person that does this, it has to be like the worst job ever to just sit up there and wait for this bird to move and then zoom in and then.
But he may just love it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if you're doing that, you have to love.
Can we send Schlegel to go do this job?
Brother.
I'm not
he
sending
would-
him anywhere.
I'll
other
send the
than
Eagle
to
after
Burger
Schlegel.
King.
I was going to say, I'll trade the man that's running the camera right now for Schlegel, and that guy can be center back. Schlegel can go operate this camera. And then we probably don't lose 5-0 to Fort Lauderdale.
I'd say give OC Fan TV like 2 to 3 months to like fully get back into match fitness, and then you've got 4 center back signings right here.
Oh, I promise you, I'm not letting Messi tap down a ball and score right in front of me.
It's a nice
gonna
little
kick
scissor
the
tackle.
kneecap.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. It is. I don't even know if I'll go to the ground. It's just straight back of the jersey, horse collar tackle to the ground type of shit.
So maybe that is something. This is just speculation. Rodrigo, Argentinian. Messi, Argentinian. Also the best player we have ever seen. Maybe he just has a little too much respect for him, and he didn't want to bring him down like that. And then because he doesn't want Messi to hate him. Speculation, but
I
running through his
understand.
mind, it could have affected.
An even bigger reason to get the fuck out of my club.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. I might just be wired differently, but I ever get the opportunity to go up against, say, Thierry Henry or something like that in a game situation, I'm sorry, brother. It's it's all business as soon as that first whistle.
As it should be.
You know, like, I'm going to two-foot you. Like, you're going to feel me just as much as anybody else would.
We've seen it even in years previous when people are playing against Messi. They'll hold off on some tackles. They won't go to ground. They won't tackle as hard. If they're doing like a little tactical foul, they won't grab him as hard. They might just grab his shirt, pull him a little bit. Because you semi do have that respect for him because everybody does watch him play just because of who he is. But in this moment, in a derby match, I like Pepe, center back, Real Madrid. I'm sorry, he never went easy on anybody.
Nope.
He was a dirty player,
Yeah.
but he's not letting anyone get past him without at least bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, you ever see Sergio Ramos go
Yeah,
light
same thing.
on
Yeah.
on Messi?
Mhm.
Like,
And you see why this past offseason, why I wanted us to sign Sergio Ramos.
I was all behind that, bro. Like, he's still playing well at Sevilla. Like, it's not his best performances by any means, but he's also still playing in La Liga, you know? Like,
Much higher level in here.
if he were to have come to the MLS last year, brother, I would have loved to see him go up against Messi wearing the purple kit.
See, everyone's playing checkers. I'm trying to play chess here. If you just listen to me, it would have been 5-0 the other way around.
Me personally, I think we have a player like that in David Brecalo.
David.
Sergio Ramos has proved in the past that he will
100%.
slaughter Messi.
N'Golo Kante is getting shinned.
Huh?
What?
He's talking about playing against Thierry Henry.
Oh,
I'm saying N'Golo Kante is getting shinned.
Yeah, I both of y'all over there. So I do agree that Brecalo could be that guy, and he's also locked up Holland already. So I mean, he's kind of proven that he can do it up against top level strikers. So
Yeah, playing for the Slovenian national team, I believe, is what you're referencing against Norway. But he says it all the time. The best quality a player can have is availability. And if we're signing this guy, he went through his whole medical, but he's not going to be fit for half our matches, and then Viking wanted X amount of money. Who knows? Very early discussion to be had because we're only 4 matches into the season. But if he's not going to be 100% fit, and then we have like a Reece James situation where he comes back, plays 45 minutes, and then he's hurt again, not a worthwhile investment.
So I think maybe he wasn't 100% fit to be in the starting lineup. And the
Then
idea,
why are we starting him?
huh?
Then why are we starting him?
I'm saying he wasn't 100% fit to be in the starting lineup.
So I'm agreeing with you in that respect, and I'm saying to the coaching staff or to the fitness trainer or whatever it is, why are we saying that he is okay to start in that match? Again, I believe you started against Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because Schlegel was out.
So it was more by necessity, and he only went 70 minutes, and I feel like he may have not been up to 100%. He may not be match fit enough to go a full 90. So the idea may have been we're going to bring him on later in the game and get him some minutes. The second we go down 3-0, there's no reason to put that guy in the game and risk him getting hurt. So by halftime, him coming in that game
Was useless, yeah.
was really out the window. So I think, truthfully, the idea was let's stay in this game, get him some minutes out of the half, get him back into fitness for Tuesday, and then for the rest of the season. But obviously it didn't work that way. Bringing him in is useless. He gets hurt, and now we're looking at it like, well, that was a waste of time.
I agree, yeah.
So somebody put it in our Discord when you asked the question, or maybe on Twitter. Was that them being that good, or was it us just being poor? So
that was Lions blog. That was Gavin.
Gavin with Lions blog over there, MLS Now is there?
Yes, MLS Now
Podcast.
blog.
For me personally, I think it was more of us being bad. I mean, how many times did we turn the ball over on a simple pass that's made 100% of the time, usually by our midfield, not making sure that pass gets to the player? And they were just in the right spots and capitalized, as they always will be, because Messi, Suarez, they put the ball in the back of the net. So it's us, again, going down early, not starting the game fast, and then just piling on top of that. I don't think they did anything special, per se. It was
Their
just,
finishing was exceptional.
They press pretty
as they
well.
always will be.
So, yeah, that's why I feel like it's a combination of both. We were definitely playing some of our worst football that we've seen out of this team ever. This group of players. It was very reminiscent of pre-2018, like Orlando City.
Mm-hmm.
So we were terrible, but at the end of the day, like how many times do we see MLS strikers hack at the ball in the positions that Luis Suarez was in on both goals?
Yeah, the first one I was going to say, even though it's Suarez and you expect him to at least get that on frame in a position to make the keeper make a save, still a hell of a finish.
Yeah, fantastic finish. You can't take anything away from the guy. Like I hate that he plays for Miami, for Lauderdale, and I hate that it was against us, and we're gonna have to. It's gonna be the Wayne Rooney thing over and over and over again. But
on this day 3 years ago,
it's the next 20 years is just going to be all of that BS. But it's a combination of both. The class players showed up in the moments that they needed them to, but we were also far from our best. Yeah.
That's pretty much my same take on it. Is we played about as shit as we can play, and then we played as shit as we did, and then we left it to some of the former best players in the world, some of the best players in the world still, to then finish us off. So it was like handing them those 3 points on a silver platter.
Yes, he's getting fucking
He's
supply
saying, stop
drop.
talking about this shit match. He's getting a supply drop.
He's getting a supply drop.
Calling in the air drop.
Dude, watch, a fucking fish is about to land right in his mouth.
So you were talking about the odds earlier, bud. We see her out there calling out to the other partner. I think we might get lucky and see an eagle.
All right, then let's hurry up and get through this pod so I don't got to pay up.
Can I just real quickly? I agree with all of you. We played horrible. Miami was there. Let's be honest, they were good. They exploited our weaknesses. Unfortunately, on Saturday, our weakness was playing soccer. So, yeah, that sums it up.
We got
one.
No, go ahead.
One thing I feel like Enrique at the moment should be getting the start over. What's his shit name? Yeah.
Ivan.
Ivan.
No, his shit name's Angulo.
Angulo.
Yeah.
I feel like every time Enrique's been brought on the field, he's our only bright spot in attack outside of Luis Muriel. But he showed he could only have that for about 5 or so minutes before he looked ultimately gassed. So, how would you guys feel if Enrique started getting more time over Angulo?
I think he's earned it.
So this is going to kind of sound like I'm just disagreeing to disagree, but I also think that he has been overrated to say so far this season because he's been brought on and then he has energy and then he can easily cut in on his right foot and then try to make something happen. So I think if teams game plan for that as to where Angulo is just dribble, stay in front of him, and then he's going to lose the ball, maybe it adds another dimension, but I think he's been slightly overrated because of that goal against Calvary. And Al said it perfectly when we were at that match. It's going to encourage him to do that and keep on doing it, and then it'll come off once every 45 shots. But how many times are we really going to see it be effective? Maybe not as much as people think, in my opinion.
So the only thing I will say to that is he played the full 90 against Montreal. So
And we see a 0-0.
He did? Great.
Who did?
Enrique?
I'm,
he did.
Great.
I'm pretty sure Angulo sat that match.
I am going to find out right now. Montreal lineup. Angulo started. Came off in the 68th.
Oh.
And Enrique was brought on.
So then what? I feel like he started one of the games against Calvary then.
The second one against Calvary, he did not start because that was Shaq Mohammed. And then the first match against Calvary, he has not started this season.
Okay, well, then you're right. I just felt like I saw him start. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but we've seen more production or positive production from him than we've seen Angulo all year. And I understand what you're saying about the wild shots and sometimes, he's going to dribble too much. But if we lose the ball in the box in that area and we're forcing them to hack at it, it falls to somebody else, it's better than Ivan just not running after a ball he can catch, because I see that a lot out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I kind of agree with you, but again, it's a tough spot to be in because Yeah, you get the quality going forward from Enrique, but then you lose the, like you said, the
Work
like
ethic.
the work ethic, the tracking back that Angulo does for us. So while you gain something going forward in Enrique, you kind of lose 2 steps when we get dispossessed. You have Santos staying up there, and now you need Angulo to track back.
I'll have to pay a little more attention to that because personally I haven't noticed a work ethic drop off or a defensive drop off in Enrique and Angulo. So I'll take you guys' word for that. I haven't noticed that per se. My thing is they're both, neither one of them are scoring goals. One of them
We expect that from Angulo.
and that's a problem.
Then we re-signed them.
So neither one of them are scoring goals. One gives us more going forward, and I haven't noticed a defensive drop-off. So to me, the answer is obvious. You give Enrique a run of games and see what happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. At the same time, the only thing with that is, have we really had to look for a defensive drop-off or a defensive upstep, for a lack of better words, in any of the matches? Because it was Calvary 3-0. We were in total control. Montreal 0-0. Maybe you could have seen it in the last 22 minutes, whatever it was they played, but I don't think any of us were really looking for it. And then 3-1 against Calvary in total control. And then obviously nothing was going to happen on Saturday. So
I'm just even going back to last year when he came into the game and played on the wing. I just personally didn't pay much attention to his defensive work ethic, I guess, but it didn't stick out to me. I'll take your word for it. As like I said, I didn't pay enough attention to it to really know. So for me, I still stick with it's got to be Enrique for a run of games. Let's see what he does.
And going back to last season, we brought him in for around $3 million. He was a expensive incoming signing. We haven't seen much of him starting wise, so why not? He looks the brighter attacker, the brighter winger as of right now. Why not give him a run of games? Who knows what he could do? Because it was a young, promising prospect from Argentina, I think. So, I mean, you can't really lose anything without starting Angulo because he hasn't brought shit to the table. So
That's fair. I'm not saying I completely disagree with you. I could see it going either way. I wouldn't be mad if Angulo started. I also wouldn't be mad if Enrique started. So
that kind of moves me into our discussion topics that we asked for across social media. And this one kind of transitions perfectly in because we're talking about certain players playing certain positions, who was better where. And this one is talking about the Cam situation. It says, not sure Nico or Ojeda is the solution. So we saw Nico at the very beginning of the season, preseason. We're like, wow, this was an underrated class signing that maybe we didn't kind of gas up enough. And then Ojeda started playing, and we looked very good with Ojeda kind of filling that role. But now I've kind of seen a drop-off from both. And now the question is this just a little bad run of form from both of them? Did we really just need to sign a DP number 10 and splash some cash? Or are they the answer and we're just not using them right? Or Facundo, sorry.
Our entire midfield was shit on Saturday. So I'm not attributing that to Nico nor Ojeda. Obviously, you want to see both of them try to get involved in the game more, but when you're not maintaining meaningful possession, it's tough. And then we also saw us go at a low block with the absolute worst tactic in the world to break down a low block. It is literal stupidity. Yeah. It's stupidity. You're outnumbered 2-1. Let's just put in a cross. Fuck it. Just whip it in there. Duncan will be there. What are we? 6 touches. We got our number 9 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
He
had one shot, I believe, and that was the one that was skied off his right foot.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's a small sample size to look at, but Ojeda's looked positive in matches past. Nico looked a little out of place against Montreal because, it's his first minutes with the team in an actual competitive match as a starter. It's a bigger role. So to me, I still feel like Ojeda can be that guy for us. I feel like he's shown enough. Him and Facundo through the preseason, granted it is preseason, but through the preseason, the first couple of matches, we've seen they've built chemistry together. So, again, I think our entire midfield was absolute dog shit on Saturday. So that's what the problem was.
Other thoughts, yeah.
I think for me, we signed Ojeda, and he, in his pedigree at his former club, he really didn't have any assists to his game. He was just scoring a lot of goals. So I do think in a way we're still missing that number 10 that can just open up a game through passing and through assists. But like you said, in the preseason, he was doing that with Facundo. So it's a small sample size, not a lot of rest within 2 weeks. So I'm not quick to write him off, but I just really don't know how to feel at the moment, honestly.
So in his many years as a Seattle Sounder, the most assists that he had in a season.
We're talking about Ojeda.
I thought you said Lauderdale.
No.
You brought
Ojeda.
That's awkward.
I know Nico has.
Even then, so it was last season 5 assists, season before 9, season before COVID, no assists in 11 matches. Then I go 8, 11, 14, 10. So Lauderdale can bring the assists, but Ojeda, last season he had 7. The season before that he had 45 matches, 13 goals, 13 assists. But that's his highest tally. The rest were 4, 2, 1, and then we go into barely playing. So,
right.
Yeah, there's still a question mark there of who is going to provide. Could it have been Facundo? Maybe that's kind of what we were thinking. Is he could turn goal scorer and provider? But at this point, I do not know.
Yeah, again, top to bottom, I think this whole regular season so far has just been like a step off. So, I mean, we can talk about the number 10 position. We can talk about whatever, but midfield in its entirety hasn't been good enough. We haven't been getting the ball out to Rafael Santos as much on the left side to whip a ball in. Dan has looked a little bit off, too. I mean, we're dealing with Schlegel still in our back line. We're talking about Angulo not producing. Duncan has not gotten a whole lot of service. And then Facundo hasn't looked great. So, I mean, yeah, we can talk about the 10, but across the board.
So then you transition into another comment from the Discord. It says, what causes this team to be so inconsistent? Some days we look like the best team in the league. Other times we look like we should be in non-league. Just playing off what you said right there. Sounds just about right. Because it was 0-0 against Montreal. We did what we had to do against Calvary, and then we go and we play like utter shit against Fort Lauderdale.
For me, it's just, I mean, there's probably plenty of things, but we've had just extreme fixture congestion. We've played Saturday. No, we started off Wednesday night, played Saturday, played Tuesday, played Saturday. So it's just like starting off the year like that's bad, but then at some point when you're in a run of games like that, you like could use a week of rest and a week of recovery and a week of game plan and not just being so back and forth. So right now I think it's how many matches we're playing constantly every week.
I think it's, 5 in
15 days?
15, yeah. So every 3 days, realistically, you're playing a game.
It started on Saturday. Because now we play again Tuesday, then we play Minnesota Saturday, and then we go Tigres again.
Atlanta.
And, yeah, away day to Atlanta. That'll be fun.
So for me, I agree. The fixture congestion is definitely a big part of it. But it also comes down to the way that we play works well against certain teams, and it doesn't work at all against other teams. We see it throughout the year. We like to play the ball out wide. We like to put a ball in the box. Any team that plays with a back three or a low block, we're going to have trouble scoring against because we have never been able to break down a low block. But we play teams that want to play a higher line, and we're able to hit them in transition. We're able to get them with lower numbers in the box. We're able to find an open man. That's when we capitalize. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we create goals other ways occasionally, but realistically, we play on the wings and in transition.
I would love to see the number of crosses that we try to put in against Fort Lauderdale, because it was just over and over and over. It kind of turned into, like, I don't know if it's the exact definition, but it's like, what's the definition of insanity? Is trying to do the same thing over and over again, and it's not working. Another saying, here we go, I'm just quoting everything today, is the first half is up to the players, second half is the manager's match. You go into halftime, you change things up, you try to make something work. At 3-0 down, we're not totally out of the match, but you can miraculously make a comeback. This has nothing to do with being inconsistent. I'm just trying to reminisce on having hope in that match.
I think he did try to do something out of half. We see Lauderdale come in the game.
Muriel
we see
came on for Duncan.
Muriel come on, and Muriel looked bright for 5 minutes. I mean, that first time he was on the ball, he dribbles through a couple defenders.
And that was it.
And ends up playing a loose pass to whoever was trying to make that run on the wing. So I think he did try to make some changes and get some different ideas in the game. We saw our number 9 get more involved in the second half with 26 touches. So, it was working better. But I was going to say, we got to be able to break down a low block.
And I feel like with our striker receiving more touches in the second half, it was Tata Martino.
Mm-hmm.
It was their coach. It's like, let them play with the ball. Let them pass it around. We're up 3. We have world-class players in attack. They've been sloppy in possession and build-up. So you can kind of allow that to happen more. So I feel like it wasn't Oscar changing his system much. It was more just the opposition allowing us to do that.
If they have been playing on the break the whole match, and it was just kind of one of those days for us, nothing would go right, no one could play the right pass. So all Tata Martino had to do at halftime was say, yeah, like you said, just let them keep the ball, let them pass, because they'll make a mistake, and then we have that quality on our front end to then go and finish it off.
He doesn't even have to coach them. You've got 4 guys with how many years of combined experience that can honestly just lead the team themselves. So he's got a hell of a job.
Damn,
And he does.
We played right into their hand. I mean, that's exactly the way that they want to play. To sit back, suck you in, get defenders high, and win the ball and fast break, counter, play in transition, get the ball to the playmakers like we said, and let them do what they need to do.
And so we've gone through our Discord suggestions. On the Twitter side of things, we actually went through Gavin Lyons' blog's post or response. And we got Johnny on Twitter saying, he said, not sure if I missed it. You didn't. Here we are. Said, where do we go from here? What changes? Think we've kind of answered that a little bit. Do you want a clear answer? You seem like you got something.
Clear answer is Brecalo in the back line.
Not Schlegel.
Yeah. We have to add more dimensions to our game. We can't be as one-dimensional as we are. We have to be able to play through the middle of the park. That's, I feel like, simple as you could put it.
Anybody else?
I mean, where are we going from here? Knock on wood, but the only real answer is up, because I feel like that could be very well our rock bottom right there. Getting thrashed 5-0. Thrashed 5-0 by your rivals it's a shit feeling.
Mm-hmm. We're going to leave one special one on Twitter for the end. Moving to Instagram, Rhino just said, revenge tomorrow. Is it really revenge if we never truly lost? We got knocked out, never lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a revenge match per se, but it's kind of, and it sucks because of what happened on Saturday. But what I really want tomorrow to be is, this is who we really are.
Bounce back match.
Yeah, like a bounce back match, but not even just in that, but like to state who we are in this continental tournament. Like, we're not just some MLS club. Like, we are a contender in this tournament.
As it should be. I mean, we finished second in the Supporters' Shield behind Cincinnati. Lost to the team that was the hottest going into the playoffs.
Ended up winning the cup.
Ended up winning the cup. Like like you said, established an identity.
Parallel Park said, "Are we cursed?"
No,
I wouldn't say so.
no, we're just shit sometimes.
It's fair. Ting Lea, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, said, "Could Galese have done better?" He was put in shit situations that he couldn't really do much about. I'm trying to think of a goal where he really could have done something better.
The first goal, you can't put
No.
on him. He's beat by a fantastic ball.
Second one, though, just class finish.
Yeah. Third is. No. That's Schlegel keeping somebody off the onside. He's outnumbered 2-1. You got to pick somebody.
Or the sweat. Easy sweat.
Yeah.
Fourth one chipped. Robin becomes the keeper. Galese does what he should do, is try to get back across, because almost every other human being on the planet is just trying to smack that, so it goes in the back of the net. But Messi being Messi takes it down. And then the fifth one,
The header.
yeah, no, he couldn't have really done anything.
No.
Not saying he should have done anything better, but that was played into the ground. So obviously it's harder for the keeper to make the save.
He does put it in the side netting, far post.
Yeah. So
With Pedro cutting back to his left. So
Yeah.
if
It's
he
tough,
does, he's
yeah.
tearing an ACL.
It's definitely not on him by any means.
Wenzen says, "New defense, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Can we get some more options for our defense?"
We gave you the option right there. It's Schlegel out.
Schlegel should have got a red, and then we wouldn't have had this problem. Well, maybe not as bad.
Schlegel should have went to Turkey.
He should have. We did sign. I think it's Bracalo, is what I've heard.
David
think
Bracalo.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Brecalo. It might be.
Brecalo.
Bryce is the expert. He's sang
That's
the
fair.
song multiple
I've heard
times.
multiple people say Bracalo. I don't know. Could be wrong.
People still call Robin Janssen Robin Jansen. So
Yes, that's true. OCSE DOP LFO
Okay.
says Ojeda operating in right wing spaces has made Angulo redundant / ineffective. Agree or disagree? Right wing spaces doesn't exactly make sense, because that's the opposite side of where Angulo plays.
Every now and then you'll see Angulo and Facundo switch, so I can see his point, but it's like a 5-minute period where they switch. So
my only thing is like I feel like we see Ojeda drift to the left.
To the left. So if let's just say in that case he meant left wing spaces, and that has made Angulo redundant / ineffective. Do you
No.
agree or disagree?
Disagree, because that's giving you a one-on-one matchup with probably your fastest and what should be your best person in a one-on-one. So it works at every single level. Having your 10 drift out to the wing, creating that matchup and allowing them to get space. We just haven't figured out how to do it right.
I mean, for the first 10, 15 minutes, we exposed Miami on that right side. For us, our left side. So, I mean, it worked out. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
Who do we expose?
Out of Fort Lauderdale, apologies.
Well, DeAndre Yedlin
Yeah.
specifically.
Who is now no longer a Fort Lauderdale player. He's been shipped to Cincinnati.
It's all a fucking money laundering scheme. You heard it here first.
Well, they did say for roster flexibility. So that means they're going to splash cash on Neymar in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, They're
For
gonna-
roster flexibility means they just got out of the red a little bit more, and they're still not in like the MLS rules. They're still breaking rules, so they're still trying to get out of the red. But they might have gotten out of the red enough to where the MLS can just say sweep it
gonna
under the
say.
rug. Yeah,
technically they're already supposed to be out of the red. So if you
Yeah,
believe what
okay.
the MLS says, then that move is just for them to be able to make a summer signing.
yeah, great. They can go and sign Shaq Moore right back as a replacement for all I
Whole
care.
lot of bullshit. They're about to sign Neymar for $15 a week.
Yeah.
Watch.
I'm telling you, Neymar will be coming to Fort Lauderdale in the summer.
And they're bringing the Avengers, Neymar, CR7, Robert Downey Jr. for all we know.
Shoot, I mean, if we want to play that game, we'll take Pepe, Ramos,
Just
and
go get all the Real Madrid boys.
we'll get Pepe, Ramos, Modric, and
Gross.
And CR7 for on 1 game contracts just to play Miami.
Benzema doesn't want to be in Saudi. Muriel and Benzema
we've
up top.
got this great place called Orlando, right next to Disney. The Orlando Magic are on the up and up.
The Solar Bears are here.
Yeah,
They are here.
they do exist.
And the last one on Instagram that we have says depth for Orlando City and how to handle it.
Depth?
Depth. Sorry, I might have pronounced that wrong. Depth for Orlando
no,
City.
I'm just questioning. Like, we don't have depth.
Well, all we did say throughout the whole offseason was our depth looks pretty good.
Yeah, and then now they don't look pretty
Schlegel
good.
doesn't look great. Ojeda Lodero is meh right now. Angulo's meh. Enrique's there.
Felipe's there.
Jacqueline's about the best depth we have.
Okay, but you're forgetting, like, it's either Duncan or Muriel starts, and the other one's on the bench. So, like,
That's why we're
One
not.
of them is depth.
That's why we're not scoring goals. Get Jacqueline on.
yeah. I mean, I'm not hating on the guy, but
Muriel and Jacqueline have the same amount of goals this year. Who's played more minutes?
who has more goal contributions, though?
I never said that. I said goals. Jacqueline should have had one against Calvary or
Wait,
Montreal.
Did he?
And Calvary. And Muriel should have had 3 against Calvary. So.
But he doesn't.
Yeah, so we have to rotate. It's obvious. I mean, there's a ton of fixtures going on. But it's just, what are we going to prioritize? I feel like it all kind of depends on what goes down Tuesday.
Are we going to preview that a little bit? We're already at 53 minutes, so we might have to make it a quick one.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about, I feel like.
We watched some highlights of their previous games. The quick rundown is they like to shift to a 3-back when in possession. They do also like to try to get out wide, but they are better at getting inside when they're attacking than us. They have Diego Lainez, little 4'7", Matt Miazga's son. Not really that dangerous. He's just an old Mexican. Not old. He's just a Mexican name.
Gignac.
Yeah, always look out for that man in the box. He scored like an 87th minute winner against
Tijuana.
Toluca.
No.
No,
it's
that was Juarez.
Suarez.
Don't say that name again. That was PTSD from Saturday.
What were they called?
Bravos.
Yeah, Bravos.
Yeah, so for us, they shift to the 3-back. So Duncan, to me, is going to be rendered ineffective.
Because they'll probably have 2 left on him with
Right.
the midfielder.
So we're going to need to play that false 9 look if we want production from that spot. Or have somebody play a second striker to help stretch that back line and create space for him to work in. I hope Muriel's fit. Because
Yes.
if he's fit, he's the type striker I want to see playing up against what will be a low block when they're defending.
So let's just say we were playing a false 9. Who is Cam? Who is false 9?
I feel like Ojeda's should be the Cam because of the fact that we've seen him in preseason and in the season get forward, play that second striker. Yeah, he floats out to the wings, but he also, I mean, we watched it against, it was like New England preseason game.
Mhm.
He was ahead of Enrique, who was playing the 9 at that point in time. So I think it's the 9 and 10 combo should be Muriel, Ojeda.
That's fair. Yeah. It's got to be Muriel up top. For some reason in my head I was thinking maybe Enrique in that position. But when you have Muriel and hopefully he's fit, he got 45 minutes of action. But it's not like he could really do that much. So hopefully he's not as tired. He's fully fit and can play somewhat close to a full 90 for us.
If he can put in a good 60, I'd be happy with it. And then we're able to get Duncan in the game, give us a different look later in. Hopefully we're ahead, defending a lead, putting a big body striker up there to be able to hold up the ball and get us out.
Yeah, that would be the ideal situation, wouldn't it?
Yes.
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 The
Yes.
game will kick off in 24 hours from right now.
Is it 15? How long does CONCACAF
I'm
kick off
saying
on time?
17
No.
17 hours?
minutes.
After
Past
9 p.m.?
Yeah, I'm saying like 17.
9.17.
Yes.
Could have just said that. What were we talking about?
Oh, the last question.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Our Twitter post. This comes from Ian. Ian, well done with your submission, lad. Tailgate food discussion. Let's just make it simple. We're going to go top 3 tailgate foods each.
Oof. All right, top 3. We got burgers of any type, whether it's just regular burgers, smash burgers. We got Philly cheesesteaks are always fire. It's a sleeper tailgate food, but they're super easy to make if you've got a flat top. And then, I mean, I feel like it's a hit every time with us, the taco little bar thing that we do. Those are my top 3.
For me, it's burgers at 1, brats at 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was gonna say like a carnitas taco type thing for 3.
Yeah, you took the top 2 out of my mouth. It was, burgers. We got 3 of them already. Specifically, smash burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Quicker to cook, still very good. And then 2, not hot dogs, but like a nice little like a Cavallari sausage or something from a butcher shop.
I'm gonna be honest. If you're having hot dogs at a tailgate, grow up. Grow up.
Easy to cook. Still decent tailgate food, but
Nah, it's got to be
grow
that.
up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then the third one, I was trying to think of like a side or something maybe that's good. And I was gonna try to think maybe like a buffalo chicken dip kind of thing. Possibly, yeah.
Fair.
So that's to be a little bit different. I'll go buffalo chicken dip.
I'm going to bend the rules.
I was going to say red crayon, blue crayon.
Low key, that Robin's Egg Blue
It's
sleeper.
Oh, is the mac and cheese red?
Speaking of mac
No.
and cheese,
Oh,
fuck, I lost my train of thought. No. I was, going back to you thinking of sides. I was thinking about putting mac and cheese in my top 3.
Fair.
It was a good option. I also do want to put pulled pork in at the 3.
Mm.
pulled pork sandwiches.
Pulled pork sandwiches, you get the nice sandwich. There's a little barbecue sauce
Mhm.
on there. Prime. In my 1, fuck you for saying hot dogs are for kids. I'm throwing hamburgers and hot dogs. I'm bending the rules. Those 2, I feel like, just go hand in hand when you're doing like a little barbecue session.
When you grow up, it's hamburgers and brats.
Fair. But I feel like the classic is just hamburgers, hot dogs,
Yeah.
ballpark food. And then into my 3 spot, or my 2 spot, I had... Fuck. Oh, the asada. Little steak.
Little-
Skirt steak action.
Yep.
Pristine.
Well,
Alcohol.
That's just not a food, mate.
It is. Liquid calories in a way. It's food. In a way.
we'll be busting out the grill soon, hopefully. And
Love that.
we'll have a little tailgate sesh ourselves. Bring vibes up because Orlando City has not been helping with that.
No.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you like this episode, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, turn on that notification bell. Like I said on the live, if you're coming back already, then why not just subscribe? You're already here. So you find yourself coming back, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Only helps us. So thanks to our sponsor of today's episode, Bet Online. You can get your 50% welcome bonus by using code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV,